Hi, and happy Easter for those of you who celebrate Easter. I'm going to videotape these cute little chicks while I share some information today. Today I want to talk about some tools that you can use to help bring more peacefulness into your life. So yesterday I talked a little bit about discarnates and asked that any discarnates be cleared for anybody who watched the video. I'll do the same for today. And I wanted to talk just a little bit more about discarnates. Discarnates are beings out of body. There's many types of them. Most of them are not harmful, but they have their own programming. So in the Akashic record, what I do is I do clearings of negative programming, and discarnates have that same programming. They carry their own baggage. And so when they attach to your energy field, it's like you're experiencing their programs like they're your programs. So it's great to have those cleared. Usually they attach to your auric field, and sometimes they'll attach when we're in a lower vibration. Like anytime we use any mind-altering type drugs, alcohol, drugs, even prescription things, anything that lowers your vibration, a lot of times that's what will attract them. Sometimes they can be attracted to someone who has a higher vibration if they know, like I've had the experience because I know how to clear them, and I used to work in a hospital. They would come all the time and attach to my field because they knew that I could help them get to the light. Now, there's another thing called entities. Those are not, they are a type of discarnate, but they're a little different than regular discarnates. They actually will enter into your physical body and kind of be with your soul. There's usually an agreement between the soul and these entities. I hear my kitty cat coming. And the dog is back here too, visiting. Entities usually are really lost. I do work on clearing them, and my experience with them is that although sometimes they can come for negative reasons towards the person that they've made the soul agreement with, usually they're just really lost, and they just really need some help finding their way to the light. They're not anything to be really scared of. Some people will consider them evil. They can be vengeful at times and try and hurt the host, but it's not usually like a physical hurt. It's more like an emotional hurt. Okay, so that's all about discarnates. If you feel like you have discarnates or entities and you are not able to get rid of them, I'm happy to help you with that. So getting discarnates cleared absolutely helps your energy, and it definitely will help bring more peaceful experience into your life. Now I want to talk a little bit about breathing. So a lot of people don't breathe right. If you've ever been a singer, a swimmer, some instrument like the flute or the trumpet, something where you have to do a lot of breathing into that instrument, your teachers may have taught you how to breathe, but as we become adults, and babies just naturally know how to breathe, as we become adults, we tend to hold our breath a lot with fear, or for different reasons we tend to breathe more shallow. So at the bottom parts of our lungs are what's called the diaphragm, and the appropriate way, and the way babies breathe naturally, is you bring the breath in and you completely fill those lungs, which push that diaphragm down and as well as your organs that are down below the diaphragm kind of get pushed out, so your belly goes out. But a lot of people, they breathe more shallow, and so they don't bring the breath fully into their lungs. And what they do is you'll see your shoulders rise back as you're breathing in, instead of the breath going all the way in and pushing your belly out. And so what happens when they're breathing shallow is their belly's actually usually pulling inward. So just pay attention to your breathing and know that if you're not breathing appropriately, that you might want to start practicing breathing through down, pushing your diaphragm down and pushing your belly out, because it will help expand your lungs and it will actually help to open up all these what's called alveoli in your lungs, so that you have a better lung capacity. You'll be able to breathe better, especially as you get older. Okay, so while we're on the breath, what I wanted to talk about is it's a great means of stress reduction, because, well, we all know that breath is life-sustaining. You have to have breath in order to survive. But a lot of people know that breath work can be used, like with yoga, with meditation, relaxation, and even with some medical conditions. There's different kinds of breathing techniques, and because they're different kinds, because they're used in different situations, whatever the goal is in mind. So there have been studies that have shown that breathing techniques are beneficial in a lot of ways. I want to give you the definition of breath work from the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance, and they describe it as it's the art and science of teaching breathing awareness techniques for enhancing human physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual conditions. So the human nervous system is composed of the parasympathetic system, which works to regulate your heart rate and breathing and some other involuntary motor functions. And the sympathetic system is what arouses the body, preparing it for vigorous activity. The National Institute of Health has written that it's thought that some types of meditation might work by reducing the activity in the sympathetic nervous system and increasing the activity in the parasympathetic nervous system. In other words, meditation produces a reduction in the arousal and increases relaxation. So breathing is a part of that picture. Every time you breathe in, your pulse should be just a little bit faster and a little bit deeper than when you breathe out. Breathing affects what's called our heart rate variability, meaning the flexibility of our heart rate as well as the speed of our heart rate. So you can play with this yourself. You can feel your pulse like in your wrist or in your neck and do some breathing, and you should feel a slight difference in the rate of your pulse. So I'm thinking about doing a video one day with some specific types of breathing techniques that you can learn to use, but just a quick one that you can use to help is, like, if you want to breathe with meditation, just take very slow breaths in, like maybe to the count of 6. Slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe you want to breathe in to the count of 4, and then you want to hold it for 2-3 seconds. and then slowly let it out at, like, if you took a breath in at 4, you may want to let it out at 6. If you took a breath in at 6, you may want to let it out at 4. And if you're raising your belly, you're letting your diaphragm lower and taking that breath all the way into your lungs versus doing shallow breathing, you won't have any problems slowly taking the breath in, and you'll have plenty of breath to slowly release. So another technique that's great, I've already mentioned, is meditation. You know, there are tons of meditations on YouTube that you can do that are guided meditations if you have a difficult time meditating. I can tell you, when I first started meditating 24 years ago, I couldn't get out of my head. And they say, I'm a lot Virgo, and they say that Virgos have the most active mind of all the astrological signs. But if Virgos can accomplish meditation, they can do amazing things with their spiritual life. So meditation every day is really beneficial, and it doesn't have to be long. You can do an 8 or 10 minute meditation, and it can make a huge difference in your life. Boy, they're really active here. Hey babies. Hey babies. They are handled, so they probably, hearing my voice here, they may be attracted to being near the human energy. So anyway, at first, if you have a difficult time, when your mind starts to wander off, just notice it and just pull yourself back and go back to the meditation, whether it's in silence and you're just trying to stay in a silent place, or whether you use a guided meditation and you can't track it because your mind has wandered off. Just pull yourself back and go back with it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. But doing it every day will help to balance out your energy. Then there is things like yoga, and balancing your chakras is a really great way to keep peace in your life. And eventually I am going to do some more on chakra stuff, so you can learn about that. But there are some meditations, and eventually I'm going to be doing meditations, probably guided meditations for you as well. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is things that can help you get to that peaceful place. And of course, taking time for yourself. A lot of people are in such a rush and their lives are so busy that we all just don't take enough time for ourselves. And just taking that 10 minutes to be with yourself, and no TV, no radio, no music running, unless it's some slow music that would help with your meditation or whatever. Just being with yourself for like 10 minutes can make a world of difference. I've got more tools that we'll talk about in future videos. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed watching these little chicks. I just think they're so cute. I love animals, though. I'm just a really huge animal lover. Anyway, you guys have a great one. Sending you all love. Many blessings.